Welcome, and I'm going to call this part Keep Quiet. I'm manifesting. That's exactly what it's going to be called. So, this manifesting stuff, the internet is awash with it. I actually look over here and I see an orange book called Manifest, and I believe it sold millions of copies. And this really started with this book called The Secret, created by a woman called Rhonda Byrne. And what a book! I'm actually holding it in my hand. And the book itself has sold, I think, at this stage, well over 35 million copies. I mean, the book, 35 million copies, absolutely amazing. It feels good. The writing in it is great. It has this real authentic Edwardian kind of feel about it, an awful lot of calligraphy in it, and yeah, it's a really great book. Have I read it cover to cover? Nope. Why do I have it? I just have it because I like the idea of having it. Because for me, there's energy in the book. That energy emanates from the book. Just even by just holding it, there's an awful lot of wisdom in there. Anyway, so manifesting that thing. For me, what's manifesting all that? When I talk, and everybody was talking about my experience and what I believe manifesting is bringing things into your life that you desire to have within your life. Whatever it is, maybe that's a person, maybe that's a place, maybe that's a thing, whatever it is. And for me, it's manifesting that thing that you desire most. And when I say desire most, is because we all have a certain amount of energy. If you think back to when you went to school, well, I know when I went to school, the teacher had this big brown meter stick. And if you think from this point of view, is that that's all your energy. You have a meter high of energy. And where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you want something from a manifestation point of view to show up in your life, you have 0 to 100% of all of that energy to focus on that person, that place, that thing to show up in your life. You can focus that energy. Now, let's say you want to bring 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, amount of things into your life. You can only really focus or divide your energy to 1, 2, maybe 3 things at any one time. So if you are focusing on 3 things, those 3 things are only getting 33% of your energy at any given time. And the universe works on energy. It's a big energy field, and you attract into your life that thing that you are vibrating with from an energy level or a frequency level. That can be complicated, but just think of a tuning fork. You know, those tuning forks, bang them and you make a big sound. They are resonating, they're giving off a frequency. So when you are in the same frequency as that person, place, or thing that you want to manifest into your life, when you do that continuously, over and over and over and over again, you practice, you become on the same level of energy or frequency as that person or place or thing. That's the way it works. Don't have to take my word for it, just look to, there's laws of, what's the law of it? You could just even look up the law of attraction, and that will bring you to it. And then you've got the law of energy, you've got the law of vibration, Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, the low vibration. So, how do I manifest things? Whatever it is that I want to turn up in my life. Well, before I even get to that, there is so many things that so many of us believe about manifesting. So many of us believe that it is simple to do, and the truth of the matter is it isn't simple to do, because it requires practice, it requires dedication, it requires determination. And determination is doing the things that you know that you need to do even when you don't feel like doing them. So it requires all that, and actually requires so much more. And this is where resilience comes in as well. And resilience is being able to bounce back from setbacks or perceived setbacks and keep at it and at it again. So people do, they go, right, I want to manifest X, Y, and Z. And they're right, you're going to start thinking about X, Y, and Z. You're going to start thinking about X, Y, and Z. I might even start writing about X, Y, and Z. And they'll do that. And they do that for a week, and all of a sudden what happens? X, Y, and Z doesn't show up in their life. And then they stop. And then this manifestation thing doesn't work. They throw in the towel and they go onto social media and say it doesn't work and it's a waste of time, it's a week out of my life that I can't get back. So I'm going to talk about what I did and what I continue to do. And again, you need to be patient with the process of manifesting that thing that you desire most. And I'm not talking about 2 or 3 things, I'm talking about just one thing that you desire most. So I'm going to talk about, not even introducing, I'm going to talk about this dude, a fella by the name of Carl Rogers. And Carl was born back in, and I think he was born back in 1902. Yeah, 1902. That's when he was born. And he came up with these concepts. One of the concepts that he came up with was this concept of self-concept. And what is self-concept really all about? So self-concept is the image that you have of yourself. And this image is influenced by many forces, including your interactions with important people in your lives. It's how you perceive your behaviours, your abilities, your unique characteristics. For example, a belief such as I'm a good friend or I'm a kind person are part of your overall self-concept. And other examples of self-concept include how you view your personality traits, such as whether you are an extrovert or an introvert. How you see your role in life, such as whether you feel that being a parent, sibling, friend or partner are important parts of your identity. The hobbies or passion that are important to you, that give you a sense of your identity, such as being a sports enthusiast or belonging to a certain political party. How you feel about your interactions with the world, such as whether you feel that you are contributing to the society. And I'll go even further than that, as in, do you believe that you are living in a kind, caring, compassionate society? Do you believe that you are living in a hostile world? All of these come into account when we talk about or bring up, discuss self-concept. So our perception, now I love that word perception. Perception is something that is made up of our senses. It's just senses perception. It's how we perceive. Just because we perceive something to be so doesn't make it so. Doesn't make it true. We just perceive it that way. So our self-perception is important because it affects our motivations, our attitudes, and our behaviours. It also affects how we feel about the person we think we are, including whether we are competent or have self-worth, or be kind, caring, compassionate, or be nasty, evil, bad, and there's so many different things. But self-concept tends to be more malleable when you're younger and still going through self-discovery and identifying formation. So when you are young, that's when self-concept tends to kick in. And as we age and learn who we are and what's important to us, these self-perceptions become much more detailed and organised. And at its most basic level, self-concept is a collection of beliefs that you hold about yourself and the responses of others. It embodies the answer to the age-old question, who am I? And if you want to find your self-concept, list things that describe you as an individual. What are your traits? What do you like? What do you feel about yourself? So Carl Rogers came up with this thing that there are 3 parts to self-concept. And the first one is your ideal self. And just think about that, your ideal self. The ideal self is a person you want to be. This person has the attributes or the qualities you are either working toward or want to possess. It's who you envisage yourself to be if you were exactly as you wanted to be. And then self-image. Self-image really refers to how you see yourself at this moment in time. And these really are attributes like physical characteristics, personality traits, and social roles all play a role in your self-image. And the third part is self-esteem. How much you like, accept, and value yourself all contribute to your self-concept. Self-esteem can be affected by a number of factors, including how others see you, how you think you compare to others, and your role in society. So there are 2 things about this whole self-concept thing that are really, really important. So self-concept is not always aligned with reality. In other words, it's not always true. When it is aligned, your self-concept is said to be congruent. If there is a mismatch between how you see yourself, which is your self-image, and who you wish you were, your ideal self, your self-concept is incongruent. In other words, it's not aligned. So this incongruence can negatively affect your self-esteem. So this dude Rogers believed that incongruence has its earliest roots in childhood, when parents place conditions on, well, not on, they do place it on their children. Yeah, they do. My parents put conditions on me, and I believe every mother and father, unbeknownst to themselves, does place conditions on their affections for their children, expressing love if children earn it through certain behaviours and living up to the parents' expectations. Children begin to distort the memories of experiences and leave them feeling unworthy of their parents' love. Unconditional love, though, on the other hand, helps to foster congruence. Children who experience such love feel no need to continue to distort their memories in order to believe that other people will love and accept them as they are. So as you get older, your self-concept develops, in part through our interaction with others, in addition to the family members and close friends. Other people in our lives can contribute to our self-identity. But self-concept can also be developed through the stories we hear. just as an example, one study found that one female reader who were deeply transported into a story about a leading character with a traditional gender role and a more feminist self-concept than those who weren't as moved by the story. The media plays a role in self-concept development as well, both mass media and social media. When these media promote certain ideals, we're more likely to make these ideals our own. And the more often these ideals are presented, the more they affect our self-identity and self-perception. So can your self-concept be changed? Just bear this in mind. Your self-concept is just a perception. And one of my mentors, when it comes down to perception, has taught me, I actually don't think this is what he actually meant to say at the time, but perception is how you look at things. Two people can both look at the exact same picture and see two completely different things. They just perceive it differently based on their own life's experiences, their own beliefs or values, but generally down to their experiences and their beliefs. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So you can change your perception each and every time that you want to change it. So self-concept, so self-concept can also change based on the people with whom we interact with. These are the people that you hang out with really on a daily basis, your close friends, your family, your colleagues, those type of people. You know who they are. And this is particularly true with regard to individuals in our lives who are in leadership roles. They can impact the collective self. And this is the self in social groups and in relational self, the self in relationships. And the best example of this would be to think of your other half, if you're in a relationship with your mother and father. If they turned around to you and said to you, I think you're a really bad person, or I believe that you're a really, really bad person, you'd kind of get hurt, wouldn't you? It would affect you. I know it would definitely affect me, but if it was some person on a bus, some stranger that you never knew, you probably would never see again, if they said exactly the same thing to you, you'd probably just be water off duck's back. It wouldn't matter. And the reason why it wouldn't matter, because you are not emotionally connected to that person. You don't value their opinion. You really don't care what they think of you. You really don't care what they say to you. It's the people that are in leadership roles, people that we hold up there in, high esteem. We believe what they say about us if they say it enough times. So in some cases, a medical diagnosis can change self-concept by helping people understand why they feel the way they do, such as someone receiving an autism diagnosis later in life, finally providing clarity as to why they feel different. So I'm going to leave it at that for now.